Good evening and welcome to the Open Police.
Uh-oh. Chair.
We're, we're having some technology
Yes.
sound issues, so I'll keep going until I'm told. We have on with us today Commissioner Angela Jackson Castaigne. We have Deacon Reginald Lyles. We have Mario Contreras. We have Jose Dorado. We have Walter Riley, and we have our the OPC Chief of Staff, um, uh, Micah Montgomery, as well as OPC Counsel Katina Ankar. We are now entering the final phase of the development of our CMC addendum statement. We've been working on it for weeks, if not months. And we had some additional changes to our introduction. I think we finalized our conclusion. I know Ms. Rashida sent some comments that she wanted us to bear in mind, mainly about our audience. And I'm Marcia Carpenter Peterson. I'm the chair of the Police Commission, as well as this ad hoc. So I want to get started by saying we did have our first, and Bridget referred to it as meet and confer, which she kept admonishing us not to refer to the meeting that the judge directed us to have as a meet and confer, but it was a opportunity for the party to get together and discuss perspectives, as she called it. So I'm getting an echo. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I think Walter needs to turn his computer off and keep his phone on only.
There we go.
Yeah, he's got his cell phone in.
So wanting to share perspectives, she did not share the city's perspective, although she did say that the reason why she has waited this late to get everyone together because she wanted to receive the monitor's report, which we all received last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday. And as a result of receiving that report, she anticipated that positions would change, and the position of the city has changed in as much as it will not be pressing to get out of the NSA in their statement. So at least we know that much about the position the city is taking. And I also said to her that we have, substantially finished our statement. And so she wanted to know what is the position we've taken. And I just read her the bold, I think 5 areas. These are the things that we feel have to be done. And that was it, because I told her, I said, we haven't completed it, hasn't been totally approved by the ad hoc, and it has to go to the full commission for a vote. What I would like to do, if we could, I don't know if we'll be able to finish tonight or not. I'm hoping we will. But once we get the stamp of approval from our committee, I want to make sure that the commissioners have it being sent to them in such a manner that it's not a Brown Act violation, but that they will have an opportunity to send in any comments prior to the meeting, so that we can be prepared on the 22nd to discuss, vote, and move forward. We were supposed to provide the addendum to the city attorney's office by August 22nd. Since our meeting is on the 22nd, I asked, could we delay submission until the full commission had an opportunity to vote on the statement, which would be at the 22nd, the meeting on the 22nd, and she said yes. So that's about where we are. Katina, anything else you need to add? This is a public meeting. We didn't discuss legal strategy or any of the things that she was saying are usually discussed at those group meetings. But at the end of the
No,
day, they are aware that we have completed the statement.
no, I don't have any, I
Substantially.
don't have anything else to add, Chair. Except that because the draft will also, the final draft will be a part of the commission's agenda, we will likely share that final draft with OCA as of the date that the agenda is posted.
And it'll be posted on August 19th.
Yes.
It'll be part of our agenda posting. We should definitely see by then. In other words, it will not suffer the fate, alleged fate, or no, the fate that Bridget said allegedly occurred because we gave her our addendum an hour before it was to be filed as part of the city statement. She'll have it way in advance.
Chair Peterson, on that point, what date did she extend it to? What did you guys agree on a date
The next day,
after August 20?
the 23rd. The
Oh,
23rd.
23rd, okay.
We're not going to stretch this out. I don't think it'll be
Okay.
necessary unless there's a groundswell of public objections to our statement at the meeting itself. So that's where we are. So where would you like to begin today? We are tweaking our introduction. Oh, and Micah was on the call too. Micah, do you have any reflections of the call? Did I leave it?
Well, our chair was very vocal. She spoke the most out of everyone on the call, which was great because it really set the tone for how important this work is for the commission, even though we're not considered, or you're not considered a party. Yes, a party of the overall process. But they got the point. They know that you guys are serious and they're looking for the updates. I think the rest you gave was perfect, Chair.
Thank you.
So out of curiosity, who was present?
Jim, Channon, John, Burris, Rocky. Rocky's somebody who is the legal counsel.
Rocky Lucia.
Rocky Lucia.
Chief Mitchell.
Assistant
Cipra.
Deputy Chief Justin Beer, I believe.
Beer was there. I was on it.
Marguerite,
which is interesting. Remember, Margaret was saying you guys weren't on the call. Anyway, Marguerite and Bridget.
Bridget. Ryan Richardson.
And Ryan Richardson, yeah.
And
The city attorney
Cipra.
Barbara Parker was also there.
Barbara Parker was on there.
Right.
Yeah, that was a surprise. So very OCA heavy, but didn't have anything substantive to share in terms of the city's position, other than they will not be seeking, or they will not make an argument that this OPD for the city should come.
Was the mayor there?
The NSA. No, and I don't think there was anybody from her office.
I don't think so either.
Was any representative from the Oakland Police Association?
Oh, there was one person,
right? There was the new president.
Yeah.
Asian guy, right?
Asian guy, yes.
Wei Win, I think was his name.
Yes. He's the new president of the Oakland Police Association. He didn't. He spoke in terms. No, I think it was an attorney for the OPA.
Right.
who spoke and said they're in this as kind of an intervener to protect the um, rights under the collective bargaining agreement of their members.
See. Thank you.
Oh, of course. The thing about it was, though, it was interesting that it is so late. And if we had started this process now, we just would have really been behind the 8 ball. So kudos to all of you who hung in these several months we've been working on this, so that we would have a refined, coherent statement done with integrity. So here we are. Can you make it bigger? Maybe I have to close this chat box. There we go. Okay.
Is that good?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
All right.
Can we give the site to Judge Oryx's comment? When did he say this particular comment? Where did you lift it from?
Oh, I'd have to go back and look, and let me give credit to Deacon Reggie Lyles for directing me to some of these locations. I'd have to, I certainly can find it.
Yeah, it was this year, and it was in his report just before the Armstrong kerfuffle that came out.
So we have those documents. I don't have them with me.
Yeah, it was I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was when he was writing in the case, and he made it distinctive that he was putting this in the case so everyone could read it. And the mayor had just been elected, and she then said she had interviewed former Chief Armstrong and was going in another direction. Was that last year?
Oh, most definitely. Armstrong has been out for.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It was actually when she had just been elected to the mayor, and she had made the decision not to select him. That's
okay. Okay. Oh, well, that would have been in January then of this year.
Okay.
Well, remember yeah, it would have been
January of this year.
Yeah,
No,
his name was
January 23.
Yeah. No, he was fired last year, but he was part of that first list that was delivered to her in December of last year, and she rejected it. And so it might have been December of last year, because Mitchell just came on board this year through the process that delivered his name on March 1st.
Well, I definitely will find the date. I'll do some digging and find the date that he put that in. But the thing I wanted to point out, excuse me, the thing I wanted to point out was that my suggestion was of this going in before the last, after the 5 bullet points, before the last sentence, I'm sorry, the last paragraph of the introduction. So the last paragraph starts with the commission's judgment. My suggestion was to have this piece go before that.
Okay, well, I'm only asking that all of these quotes, in fact, in the paragraph above, we should have the site. That's
Okay,
all.
will do.
Well, the first site, I did send you those sites because they came right out of the Writers Come Out at Night, and the page numbers are there with it.
Yes.
The direct quotes.
Shall I look for them now or give them to
No, you
everybody
don't
later?
have to do that. What I would just like at the end of the first paragraph, highlight that and put CITE and then highlight that in yellow, as well as after the second paragraph at the end after policing. Yeah. And then the second after policing, same thing. And if we have a quote from him after troubling in the third paragraph, yeah.
And Mr. Dorado, you said you wanted those 2 paragraphs toward before the last paragraph, not right after the first paragraph.
That's correct. Actually, there's 3, starting with of those, and then ending with the Warsaw Declaration.
Did he say it twice? Because you have it when you go back up.
Where is it, Katina? I'm lost. Where is it? Am I near it?
Scroll to the top. There were
Okay, there's
3
Warsaw.
paragraphs.
Uh-huh.
And there was one paragraph that was that Mr. Riley shared, and another one, I believe the others were from Mr. Dorado.
Okay.
So at is it ongoing and chronic cases of misconduct, Mr. Dorado? Or is it right before then?
What's helpful if you can say the first 2 words of the paragraph so I'll know I'm at that paragraph for you.
Okay. Where I started was of these, the most important.
I know, but what are the first 2 words of the paragraph?
So I can
Of these, so it's up farther.
Oh, up farther.
Yeah.
The
So
first 2
it's,
words of these?
yeah, see where it says in matters concerning OPD oversight, I started my first paragraph with of these, the most important.
I don't see it. Am I?
Go in the middle.
Words
Look,
of the actual paragraph, Jose.
look in the, yeah, because it was yeah, right
It's
there.
right, yeah.
I got it? Okay.
No, right
Oh,
there.
right here.
Right there, right
Okay.
there.
So that should be a separate paragraph.
That's correct.
Got it. See, that's why I wasn't finding it, because it was not a separate paragraph. It was in the paragraph.
That's okay.
And where
Got
should
it.
it go?
My suggestion is that the next 3 paragraphs go before the 5 bullet points, and go after the 5 bullet points and go before the last paragraph that starts with the commission's judgment.
Okay.
Okay, Angela.
So those
So
three
this one
paragraphs.
here,
Yep.
what do I do with this one?
Just highlight that for the next three. So keep highlighting to go down.
Okay.
And then one more. Copy up, go back up too far.
Okay, here.
Right
Those
there. So
three.
those are the next three, right, Mr. Dorado?
That's correct.
Copy, cut,
Okay.
and paste that.
Copy, cut, oops. It. This right here. Cut.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. One more. There we go. Cut and paste it after here.
After the bullets, exactly.
That's correct.
I think you captured too much.
That should be the three paragraphs, right? 1, 2, 3. There you go.
That's correct.
Okay, so now we can read it better. Let's see. I'm gonna do that on my version so I can understand it.
Now, Mr. Dorado, was I correct that your paragraph included the information that Mr. Lyles wanted to include in his paragraph as well?
I'm not, I got the citations, I got these passages from what Reggie suggested to me.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so in the chat, Reggie says the first site comes from Writers Come Out at Night, page 272, Winston and Bongrim. So
This one right here.
the first site.
That one. Okay.
I think Bon Graham has a D between the N and the G, where it has Writers Come Out at Night, Winston and Bon Graham. I think there's a D between the N and the G. There you go.
So the open blues question.
Okay, now Tyler said I've edited the document and I am attaching the link here. Where is that? I don't know. I'm confused.
Recounting. Yeah, those paragraphs make more sense when we've changed them.
I have a recommendation.
Go for it.
So right after this paragraph where it says ongoing and chronic cases of misconduct, blah, 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 after the site, would it be appropriate to mention here, since this is going to the judge, that currently the office of the city attorneys will not share or share the current completed investigations regarding Officer Tran?
I think the judge would be interested in that.
I'm sorry?
I think the judge would be interested in that.
Well, yeah, that would be the point. But so I'm just wondering, is that would be appropriate to mention here or mention at all?
I'd like to see it mentioned, and I think it can be mentioned here. It directly relates to an ongoing and chronic case of misconduct, scandals, and cover-ups.
Yes. I don't know if Tran is an officer or a sergeant but you know, we can get more information regarding
He was
that.
a detective.
Okay.
He was a detective.
So that means he's at the sergeant's rank. Because every detective in Oakland is a sergeant.
So can we just still refer to him as officer?
You might put him as a homicide detective. That's the way I've seen him referred to in the newspaper articles.
Okay, all right. I'm certainly not opposed to having any discussion about that. Um, you know, we run up against the enabling ordinance and the charter and OCA about at what stage and when the commission can get certain documents, and something has to be pending before the commission for even us to subpoena documents. This matter isn't pending in that sense. It's not, we're not asking for it in conjunction with a disciplinary committee. No disciplinary committee was convened because IAD and SIPRA agreed on the discipline. So it never got to us. And so our next ploy was, of course, to try to get the IG involved, get the documents so the IG's office could look at it and see whether there were any policy recommendations. But we ran into a buzzsaw with OCA on that because the whole argument that, well, the discipline process isn't over. There's the officer is having a skelly. They're accelerating the date for that or something to that effect. And it might be that as a result of the skelly, it'll be sent back to the police chief in order for the police chief to determine whether or not a different type of discipline should be imposed. And then SIPRA would get involved to determine whether they agree with that recommendation. And then it might come to a discipline committee of the commission for us to weigh in if there's a difference of opinion between the chief and SIPRA director, which sounds like a lot of, you know, what ifs. And so I said, well, I'm the chair of the commission. I want to just see it. I can recuse myself from being on any future disciplinary committee should this come back from the Skelly and there be this disagreement, this what if. And I made that appeal in this meeting that we had earlier in the day to Ryan Richardson directly. So I'll follow up on that.
So
But I
is
mean,
that
it's easy enough to say, oh, you know, the commission should have this, commission should do it. That's not the way the enabling ordinance allows us to get to documents.
so is that their official legal opinion position?
Yes. I got it in writing from their attorney.
And so it's
I
the
forget her name.
penalty issue,
Her
the
name
fact that it's
is
not over.
Carol
Yes, ma'am.
Caston.
Carol Caston. It was Carol Caston, this attorney I've never dealt with. But she gave us a long drawn out of how we can't have it. So,
But does she have the final word? Is she the final authority?
well, we'll see, because again, I made the appeal to Ryan, but the real appeal, I would have to probably elevate up to Barbara Parker. And so I will put Barbara Parker and Ryan Richardson on the email that I will send
It
out.
seems like a letter should go to Barbara Parker or somebody in the city to make a decision on this. So it won't be in flux and people won't think that certain folks should be able to do it when they can't, like you just described.
Yeah. So again, I just want to say that this whole thing about subpoena and documents, it's for matters that are pending. And pending means that the commission is engaged in some sort of review or other, process that is actually within our jurisdiction.
Well, if
So-
it may come back to the commission then it doesn't fit that definition with all these what ifs.
If it comes back to the commission as part of a discipline committee, we will get the document. We will get both reports.
Then I would actually double down on my recommendation that this be included here, because I would like to really, I'm interested in hearing Judge Orrick's opinion on this.
Yeah.
Oversight, civilian oversight can be brought out to, how can you omit or exclude the oversight body that exists here from something such as important as this, especially since we're making the case that there's chronic cases of misconduct and cover-ups, when right here today this exists. So I would strongly recommend that this be included.
Oh, I agree. And the other thing is we were poised to send the enabling ordinance edits to council members Calvin and Jenkins. And I want to now hold back and see if we should, where we could drop an add-in to the enabling ordinance that wouldn't conflict with the charter, that would allow us to see these reports of investigation underscoring misconduct without having to subpoena documents or not or without having to it be part of a discipline.
Okay, so I can understand this. This is not an ongoing case, right?
It is an ongoing case, but it's not within the jurisdiction of what the commission can see.
So it is an ongoing IAD matter.
It is an ongoing matter. The officer hasn't had a Skelly hearing.
So he's protected under Government Code 3300, Police Officer Bill of Rights, for that information going out. Okay, now I understand it better. Okay. I was under the impression that they had made a decision about his discipline and they had agreed on the discipline. So the disciplinary issue was over, completed. But
No, he gets a Skelly hearing.
Even though they came into agreement, they being the CIPRA and the chief.
Yeah, but again, the decision was probably an adverse decision, termination.
Yeah, if you need a Skelly, yeah.
Yeah, probably termination. If it's not a termination, we're in big trouble.
So what's taking so long on the Skelly?
Excuse me, but I will recuse myself from that. Disciplinary committee.
What's taking so long on the Skelly?
Oh my God, Reggie, you don't even want to know what they said at one of the presentations. they were gleeful. It doesn't violate a 3304 because there is no time limit on when you have to have your Skelly hearing, and they're entitled to due process and have the attorney of their choice. I said, you can't, you're not telling me we've been waiting a year, maybe 2 years for a certain attorney out of the reins law firm? Are you
So
kidding me?
that's the kind of information that should go to Judge Orick, and without going into the details of the IAD case, but the fact that they're playing games with the law to their benefit, and so they won't have to divulge with the fact that they haven't changed the culture, that the culture has not changed.
When I tell you there were, I think it was either 3 or 4 officers that were out there waiting for their Skelly, and it had been more than a year, some it was 2, and it cost the department something like 1 point something million dollars in pay as they just sat out on a paid vacation, waiting for the Skelly officer to be assigned. And oh my goodness, we just don't have enough officers to perform the Skelly duties. And then they have an entitlement to an attorney, and the attorney of their choice. I said, no, you don't get an attorney of your choice. You get an attorney
That's available. And
yeah.
and so this is that's an element on itself of their recalcitrance from changing the culture, playing those kind of games, those kind of legal games. That should be in the document.
Right, but also the point here is that the office of city attorney's office is being manipulated, or they're playing a part in this also.
Exactly.
Well, they certainly didn't raise the issue. It was raised at the commission level. And it was raised only because we tore back the cover on what they had been doing in the police commission meeting by just reporting their crime statistics and not matters that were, part of the NSA and their other responsibilities over which we have oversight.
The charter section 604, the commission measure OL, states that at any time, whether an investigation or a complaint, generated internally within the police department, or by a complaint from the public, or by CPRA, that the commission by majority vote can request those documents. And, it's right there. And, them citing, pending and not over and Scally, and, that just, I don't know. I need to ask Council Katina, from what you know of the charter, does this sound like it can hold water?
I think I wouldn't be comfortable kind of giving legal advice on a public commission meeting, but it is definitely OCA's position that because there are it's kind of an ongoing inquiry, and that officer still has Skelly rights and a Skelly hearing is pending, that for the commission to be involved, there would be some disadvantages and potentially downside of interfering with the disciplinary process, I think is the very long version of what the city attorney's office is saying. And they do not want the commission to in any way interfere with the disciplinary process that would allow the officer involved to have any kind of due process or other arguments to make once discipline is finally imposed.
Chair Peterson, you have a hand raised in the chat by Miss Kathy Leonard.
Okay. Kathy, please speak. Welcome.
Ms. Leonard?
You have to unmute yourself, Kathy. You're muted. Kathy? Mute.
Okay, we can try again.
Okay. Yeah, she has to unmute herself.
Mhm.
So are we all in agreement that those are other points that should be dropped somewhere here? And if so, where? Okay.
Mariano, I think it'd be fine to have a reference to homicide detective Tran right after this this part of the intro, because it directly relates to the ongoing chronic case of misconduct, etc.
Right. Yeah, and and it enforces the fact that it's still going on currently.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is Katina. I wanted to make one more other point, Mr. Contreras, in response to your question, and just to emphasize what the chair said. In speaking with OCA, or emailing and speaking with OCA in the last week, one of the things that OCA would mention in providing their take on the charter and the enabling ordinance was that because OCA believed that the charter did not permit the commission to have access to these particular documents under the current circumstances, that the commission should request changes in the enabling ordinance to allow that. So I think that is something that the commission definitely should do.
I thought that was already in the charter, but okay, thank you.
Yeah, see, there are people who believe that that the measures gave the commission
Oh,
that power, and so, right or wrong, I know this, that OPOA and their attorneys ought not be the ones to make the decision about that. It's got to be an independent reviewer. It could be the city attorney. It could be put in, get opinion by, Judge Orick or something, but it just can't be their attorney saying, this is a violation of our rights. Well, we get that. That's your opinion, fine. But there are other attorneys who agree with you and say that the commission has that authority. So to clear up this ambiguity and to make it look like the commission is not advocating for
right.
the police department, we need who cuts the baby in half in these situations? I thought the city attorney does it. So even if we wrote a letter, just say, can you give us an opinion on this? And then whatever the opinion is, one way or the other, we go with that.
Yeah.
That way, it doesn't look like the commission is being co-opted.
Or duped. That's the thing that
Or
me.
duped.
I just feel like we're always being duped by them.
So is this a Barbara Parker decision?
Sound like it to me.
I'd fire off a quick letter to her. Just say, can you give us an opinion on this?
If we're gonna drop
Walter?
Walter, yes.
Yeah, I think rather than asking Barbara Parker for an opinion, I would want to get our attorney's opinion in a memo.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that should be the goal. But the main goal here is that we address this issue and make sure that Judge Orick knows about this.
That we are fighting with the other stakeholders in this. And they always want to marginalize our entree into this. It's almost as though, as she said, just stay over there and do your whatever it is you do.
Stay in
The
your
kind of
lane.
things you do best.
Yeah, when in fact, we are the successor entity. None of this will work. We won't stick the landing, Oakland, if the commission is constantly viewed as something minor rather than a major player. Call me a player, don't, if you want. I'm a player. I may not be a party, but I'm a strong player in this whole thing. And that's what I get. I just, it infuriates me.
Well, if the Police Officers Association claims to be an intervener, we need to claim that also.
That's right.
Yeah. Since we know we're not getting from under the NSA and will still be under court supervision, I think it's appropriate now, absolutely, to seek intervener status and tell them why. All of these things we're talking about.
And they're citing police officers' Bill of Rights, and I'm down for that. But we're citing, you know, the charter, Measure LL and Measure S1. So we have equal rights to this.
But in the meantime, we will do that. But in the meantime, let's focus on completing this. So where do you want to drop the discussion? Here, where it says ongoing and chronic
I think we ought to
cases?
hear from Kathy Leonard. She's back and she's raised her hand.
Kathy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, great.
Oh, so I stepped out for about 15 or 20 minutes, so I'm not sure where you are right now. My apologies.
Oh, we are considering additional statements around the Trump investigation and our inability as a commission to get the report from the outside investigator on behalf of OPD and the CIPRA report of investigation.
So this is the case management statement?
What do you mean?
Or where are you going to voice that at the next status conference hearing or case management conference hearing, or are you going to put this in a document?
We're dropping it into this NSA addendum document.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't read the latest copy. I don't think I have the latest copy, but I certainly think that the role of the police commission has been downplayed by OPOA and the city for that matter. So I think that the police commission should stand strong. They have the right to do that under the charter. And I agree that perhaps the commission should try again to intervene in the case and say, since the last time that we tried to intervene, things have happened which have caused us great concern. And we believe now that we can make a case for to intervene.
Question, was there an intervention attempt previously that was denied?
I'm not familiar with that.
Yes, but yeah, Pamela Price filed it, I think, on behalf of the was it on behalf of the commission or the coalition? It must have been on behalf of the coalition.
Quite different.
Let me find the documents before I
for the commission for the CPA to intervene.
I think that's what it was. Do you remember this, Mariano?
I don't. I'm sorry, Kathy.
Okay, I'll look for the documents because I have them. I'm thinking maybe it was CPA trying to intervene.
Yeah, that seems familiar to me, but not. I don't know how Pamela Price could have filed for the commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that the commission could make a good case that they should be able to intervene in this matter.
In the chat, Risa Jaffe is saying that I'm pretty sure it was CPA.
Okay. Yeah, so certainly the police commission has a better a chance of being of the court granting an order for intervention as opposed to CPA. All the court can say is no.
Oh, I firmly
Yeah.
believe in asking for what you want. They pay somebody else to tell you no. So absolutely.
I think we've talked about intervener status before in the ad hoc. And I personally agree that there's probably a very good substantive argument to be made as intervener. The commission will have to take a look at the enabling ordinance and determine whether it would be the city attorney who would have to represent the commission in that petition to intervene, because the charter and the ordinance provide that the commission has its own counsel in certain situations, but in most litigation, the city attorney represents the commission in litigation. I don't have the enabling ordinances in front of me right now, but I know that we've had some discussions about which situations commission counsel does that and in which situations the city attorney does. If the city attorney does not want the commission to be an intervener and is also the attorneys who would represent the commission, we may have some problems.
There's some things I want to say that I don't want to say on the record. And so
Okay.
perhaps a few of us can have a conversation offline.
Okay. But again, we're going to raise it in this document of the prospect of us seeking intervening status or intervention status or intermediary status. I don't know which way it's described, but in any event, just raise it.
Right, but be prepared at the hearing. Be prepared to substantiate why you want to intervene,
Sure.
so you don't have,
Sure.
have all lined up and ready to just tell the judge this is why.
Yeah.
And we file. Would you allow us to file a motion to intervene?
Yeah.
I don't even know if you want to ask him, because what if he says no? I wouldn't even ask him. I would just do it. You could tell him you're planning on doing it, but I wouldn't ask for permission to do it.
We'll think about that. We have time to think about whether we are asking or just doing it. The judge seems amenable to, I felt last time, elevating this the commission to have a voice, and was very amenable to my presence and statements and interaction with the court during the CMC. So
yeah, I believe that
who's representing the city, who's really representing the interest of the citizens of Oakland? The city attorney is representing the city, and I don't know, are they representing the police officers, or do they have their own, or is OPOA representing them at the hearing?
well, the city wears two hats, right? They represent the city when they have to, but then they also, since they're elected, they have to represent us, the people. And that's this ad hoc and the police commission. But as far as this is probably I consider it the first time that the commission is making this kind of submission.
Right.
It was done in the past. The last one was pretty good because it had the new leadership. It had Chair Peterson, Vice Chair Carelli. But before that, it was just a waste of time. But I think that the judge is going to, what we put in this submission, in this statement, I don't think it has ever been submitted before in, you know, in all the CMC. So I believe that, you know, let's mention this case about, you know, Officer Tran. Let's mention everything else that we have included. And, you know, there's going to be some follow-up. And in the follow-up, you know, he's probably going to turn around and say, you know, this ad hoc, this police commission knows what they're doing. I want to elevate them, right? Just
That is
generic,
what I am hoping.
right? That might happen. And if it doesn't, then we request, because I cannot see the judge not seeing the you know, the skin in the game that we have here, you know, and unlike any of the other stakeholders, you know, I mean, we are mentioning stuff that has not ever been mentioned before and included it in statements. So, you know, what I'm proposing is that, you know, let's include this incident, you know, from Officer Tran, the fact that the city attorney is not, you know, allowing the commission to see, you know, the investigation documents, and just let him, you know, make a decision. Thank you.
And I don't know if this is the time or place to make mention of this, but you know, there's a number of officers who are sitting at home collecting paychecks. What's the holdup with that?
No, we talked about that too.
We talked about that.
Oh, okay, good.
The
I
Skelly
must have been out of the
scandal.
room then. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I think that might be worthy of bringing up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
I
Okay,
think we should give him a litany of things that are not brought to him, but are the reasons why this thing isn't succeeding.
right.
And I wouldn't go into the details of the Tran
Right.
issue other than saying that there's a completed investigation that's waiting on a Skelly hearing that has lasted over a year or so, or however long it's taken, which speaks to the, you know, the recalcitrance of OPD to change its culture.
Yeah, the insincerity of their efforts. The efforts.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that Oryx said. They are incapable of disciplining themselves. They just don't have the desire to do it. It ain't like they don't know how to do it. They just don't want to do it. You can't make us do it.
Right. And I'm concerned about the court saying that they're wondering if they are being successful. I mean, I can't quote verbatim what they were saying, but basically it seemed that they were saying that, you know, they can't force the courts, the OPD to do anything either. So maybe it's upon this the police commission to do that.
Yeah, Kathy, I read that and heard about it and was a part of some emails that flying back and forth. And let's face it, then the rule of law is gone, totally gone.
Right, exactly.
I mean, and there goes the democracy. There would be no way that anybody who's living in Oakland could think that they could be mistreated in some way by a uniformed police officer and they can get any justice from it.
Correct.
Because they could say we're not going to discipline, and that's in essence what's happening now in a de facto situation.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what's at stake.
Okay. We just have 20 minutes left on our meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I will take it upon myself, along with Kathy, and who else would want to write about this current situation and how we have been unsuccessful with the city to get the information.
Can I draft Mariano as well?
Yeah. Okay. So the three of us will work on that.
No, sorry. I really can't, folks. I'm so sorry. This should be a few minutes.
I think the two of us with Katina, who has a lot of the back information readily available, we can do it, Kathy.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So we're going to drop in information about the Skelly. I call it the Skelly scandal. we're going to drop in some information about the difficulty that we've had in getting the reports. And we ought to drop in something about how difficult it was to get a meeting with the stakeholders as directed by the court.
Right, that's paramount. That'd be ought to be argument number one, but
Yeah,
they refused to meet.
yeah. Refused to meet until what was today, the 6th of August. Okay. So what else beyond those things, going through the document, what else should we be looking at? I know Ms. Rashid